It's small. It's quiet. And it's probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Not in a medicine bottle. Not behind a pharmacy counter. But tucked in the corner of your spice drawer, hidden behind the cumin or cinnamon, forgotten like a relic. And yet, for centuries, this one spice was treasured by kings, used by healers, and whispered about by men who needed their strength back. Not just strength in muscle but strength in mind, in presence, in the bedroom, and in the long, silent hours of the night when a man either recovers, or slowly disappears. What if I told you that a small pinch of this spice before bed could support better circulation, deeper sleep, and even help restore the quiet rhythms of testosterone without a single pill? What if the key to reclaiming your nights, your mornings, and your confidence was something ancient, natural, and already within reach? Because that's exactly what this video is about. Not magic. Not hype. Just a forgotten remedy used for centuries by men who refused to fade quietly. And now? It might just be your turn. It doesn't happen all at once. There's no headline moment. No obvious red flag. It starts quietly in the still hours of the night. You wake up at 2:30 a.m. No sound. No dream. Just awake. You lie still. Maybe check the clock. Maybe shift your legs to get the blood moving. Sometimes you fall back asleep. Sometimes you don't. And when you do, it's not deep. It's not restoring. Morning comes, but it doesn't feel like morning. Your body's moving, but your presence hasn't caught up. You reach for coffee, not because you need energy but because you need clarity. You notice your hands are colder. Your feet too. Your skin feels thin. Your focus slips in and out like radio static. And the signals that once arrived like clockwork, those early morning cues that reminded you you're alive, you're vital, you're still a man, they've grown quiet. You don't talk about it. You don't complain. You chalk it up to age, or stress, or just one of those weeks. But deep down, you know something is changing. Not dramatically. But steadily. Your sleep is lighter. Your energy is duller. And your connection to yourself, to your partner, feels distant. It's not that you don't care. You just don't feel like you. And that's the real cost. Not the sleepless nights. Not the cold limbs. But the slow fade of the man who used to feel everything. My name is Dr. Catherine Rocker. For over 20 years, I've worked with men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, men who walked into my office not because they were sick, but because something in them had gone quiet. They didn't complain. They didn't bring dramatic symptoms. They just said things like, "I'm sleeping, but I don't feel rested," or, "I miss waking up feeling." These weren't men looking for quick fixes or miracle cures. They were looking for themselves, for the presence, the clarity, and the quiet pulse of vitality that once lived under their skin, and now felt out of reach. And I understand that surge deeply. Because healing, at this age, is no longer about fighting disease. It's about restoring rhythm, the rhythm of sleep, the rhythm of blood flow, the rhythm of intimacy and calm strength that tells a man he's still alive, still connected, still needed. That's why I don't treat symptoms in isolation. I don't believe sleep is just about shutting down, or that circulation is just about moving blood. I see both as part of one larger story, a story of how a man reclaims his body, not through force, but through the right signals, sent at the right time. And sometimes, the most powerful signal doesn't come in the form of a pill or machine, but from something as simple as a spice your ancestors knew by heart. Your body is one connected system. And two of its most powerful rhythms, circulation and sleep, are deeply intertwined, even if no one has ever told you that. Let me explain. When you fall into deep sleep, your body shifts into a parasympathetic state, the rest and repair mode. This is when blood flow increases to the brain, the muscles relax, blood vessels dilate, and tissue begins to regenerate. It's also when hormones like testosterone get produced in their purest, most natural form. But for any of that to happen, you need healthy circulation first. Because blood is the delivery system. It carries oxygen, nutrients, and hormonal signals to every cell that needs to repair, reset, or grow. Now here's the problem. After age 60, many men experience vascular stiffening. The blood vessels become less flexible, less responsive. The result? Slower circulation. Colder extremities. Lower oxygen to the brain. And most importantly, disrupted sleep. Your brain senses something's missing. It doesn't feel fully safe. So even when you're asleep, your body doesn't fully let go. You stay in the light phases. You wake up more often. And the next morning, you feel heavy not because you didn't sleep, but because you didn't truly restore. That's why addressing sleep without supporting blood flow is like trying to fix a radio without plugging it in. They're part of the same circuit. And if you nourish both at the same time, the results aren't just better rest. They're better presence. And this is where the ancient spice comes in. Because nature, in its quiet wisdom, put into certain plants the very compounds that help open your blood vessels while also calming your nervous system. One pinch before bed can do more than sedate you. It can realign you. From the inside out. David was 73 when he sat across from me for the first time. He lived in Flagstaff, Arizona, retired engineer, widower, quiet man, still walked every day. Still drove himself to the grocery store. But something had changed. I don't feel present anymore, he said. I wake up like I've been half underwater. And it's been months since I felt anything in the mornings. You know, anything down there. He didn't say it with shame. He said it with honesty. Like a man who knew his body well enough to know that something had gone dim. David wasn't looking for pills. He'd tried melatonin. He'd tried stretching, white noise, herbal teas. They help me sleep, but not restore, he said. I don't wake up better. What stood out most was how cold his hands were. Even in my office climate-controlled, midday Arizona sun, his fingers were pale and cool to the touch. Low circulation. Poor blood flow. Interrupted sleep. And a nervous system stuck in low-grade alert. That's when I gave him something simple. A bedtime ritual that felt more like a gesture than a prescription. Warm milk. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Stir. Drink slowly, 30 minutes before sleep. No noise. No screens. No expectation. Just a quiet act of trust. 3 nights in, he called me. I slept through till 5. I haven't done that in years. By the end of week 1, he said his feet weren't as cold in the mornings. He felt lighter, calmer. Week 2, he smiled when he walked into my office. I'm dreaming again, he said. Nothing wild, just dreams. That's new. Week 3, his voice got quieter when he added, I think I had a morning response yesterday. Nothing crazy. But I felt something. And week 4? He brought a bag of nutmeg to his neighbor who'd also been waking up at 3 a.m. It's not a cure, he told him. It's just something my body seems to understand, and maybe that's the point. Sometimes healing doesn't roar back into your life. Sometimes it stirs, gently, like warm blood returning to a cold hand. So what makes this spice so powerful? Why would something as small as a pinch of nutmeg or saffron create such a noticeable shift in sleep, in circulation, in the quiet rhythms of a man's body? The answer is simple. Because nature put into these spices exactly what your body needs after 60. Let's start with nutmeg. Nutmeg contains a compound called myristicin, along with gentle terpenes that act on the central nervous system. These aren't sedatives. They're modulators. They help tone down the overactive circuits in your brain that keep you half awake, even when you're asleep. They also increase the activity of GABA, the neurotransmitter that tells your brain and body, you're safe. Let go, heal now, And while that's happening, nutmeg also supports the release of serotonin, the precursor to melatonin in your sleep hormone. All of that, from a quarter teaspoon in warm milk. Now what about saffron? Saffron contains two key compounds, crocin and safranal. These have been shown in studies to reduce oxidative stress, increase blood oxygenation, lower nighttime cortisol, and gently stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. Translation? Saffron helps open blood vessels, calm inflammation, and prepare the brain for sleep, all while supporting testosterone pathways that are easily disrupted by stress. And here's what most men don't realize. When your body doesn't sleep deeply, it doesn't build testosterone. When your circulation is weak, it doesn't deliver testosterone where it's needed. So even if your numbers look fine on paper, you might still feel flat, disconnected, and dulled out. These spices don't boost testosterone directly. They do something better. They help restore the conditions your body needs to do what it was always meant to do. Which is, flow, recover, and quietly wake you back up to yourself. These ancient spices work, but only when used with respect. And sadly, most men who try them make a few innocent mistakes that quietly cancel the benefit before it ever arrives. Let's make sure you're not one of them. Here are the most common missteps and how to avoid them. Mistake number 1. Taking too much. With spices, more is not better. More can mean nausea. More can mean restlessness. More can even disrupt your liver's natural rhythms at night. For nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon is enough. For saffron, just a few threads, literally 2 or 3. These aren't big quantities. They're signals, not floods. Mistake number 2. Taking it at the wrong time. Many men add these spices to meals earlier in the day, thinking they'll get the benefit whenever. But for sleep, timing is everything. Your body begins shifting into rest mode around 8 to 9 p.m. If you want the spice to support that shift, you need to take it 30 to 60 minutes before sleep. Not right after dinner. Not at midnight. Mistake number 3. Mixing it with the wrong things. Nutmeg or saffron mixed into sweetened milk, heavy meals, or alcohol won't bring the results you're looking for. Sugar disrupts sleep hormones. Alcohol overrides your natural rhythms. And fatty meals slow absorption. Instead, pair the spice with warm, unsweetened plant or dairy milk, a light stomach, a few slow breaths, that's it. Let the simplicity be the medicine. Mistake number 4. Expecting instant results. This isn't a knockout pill. This is a conversation with your body. Some men feel a difference on night 1. Others need a week. Some don't notice until their morning mood shifts, or their feet stop feeling cold, or their partner notices they're humming in the kitchen again. Be patient. Your nervous system listens, but it listens in quiet repetition, not loud demands. Mistake number 5. Treating it like a trend. This isn't a hack. This is a return. A return to slower rhythms. To deeper rest. To small, consistent rituals that whisper to your body, you still know how to heal. Let's keep this simple. You don't need a complicated protocol. You don't need a cabinet full of supplements. You just need one thing. A bedtime spice tonic, a small, warm invitation to your body to slow down, let go, and begin again. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Choose your spice. You have 2 powerful options, nutmeg or saffron. You don't need both. Just choose one. For nutmeg, use 1/4 teaspoon, ground. For saffron, use 2 to 3 threads. Step 2. Stir it into warm milk. Warm up a small cup, about 150 to 200 milliliters, of unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or regular milk. If your body handles dairy well, avoid adding sugar. Avoid adding other spices. Let the main ingredient speak. Stir in your chosen spice while the milk is warm, not boiling. Optional. Add a pinch of cinnamon for flavor, but keep it simple. Step 3. Drink 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Find a quiet space. No screens. No noise. Just you and the tonic. Sip slowly. Let your nervous system register the shift. We're done for the day. It's time to heal. Step 4. Breathe. After your last sip, close your eyes for 3 minutes. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Let the breath carry the message of the spice deeper into your system. Step 5. Repeat 5 to 6 nights per week. Don't skip just because one night felt off. This is not a magic bullet. It's a signal system. And when repeated, your body will learn to respond. You'll fall asleep faster. You'll stay asleep longer. You'll wake up with a softness in your body you haven't felt in years. Not because of the spice, but because you remembered how to restore. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not past your prime. You're just under-signaled. You've been living in a world that asks for noise, speed, and control. But your body? It responds to rhythm, quiet, and presence. Somewhere along the way, those signals got drowned out. The sleep you used to fall into easily? Now fragile. The circulation that once woke you up with strength? Now sluggish. The spark that made you feel connected to yourself, to your partner, to life? Now distant. And yet, your system is still intact. Your biology still remembers. It just needs the right conditions. The right rhythm. The right invitation. And what if that invitation doesn't need to be loud? What if it's not in a prescription bottle or a loud gym or a complicated routine? What if it's as simple as a cup, a spice, a breath, and a willingness to come home to yourself again? You haven't lost your edge. You haven't lost your masculinity. You haven't lost your worth. You've just been moving too long without stopping to refuel. And now? Now you have a moment, a chance to send your body a message it's been longing to hear. I'm ready to restore. I'm ready to feel again. I'm ready to come back. And the good news? Your body is always listening. Always ready. Always waiting for the man inside you to return. If this message touched something inside you, if you recognized even a sliver of your story in the rhythm of this video, then maybe it's time to send a signal back. Not to me, not to the world. Just to yourself. A quiet mark. A word. A whisper that says, I'm still here. I'm still willing. I'm not done. So in the comments below, just write one phrase. Signal received. It's not for applause. It's not for show. It's for you, a note you'll see tomorrow, and remember, this is the night you chose to begin again. And if you know another man, a friend, a brother, a neighbor who's been waking too early, feeling too empty, pretending he's fine, send him this video. Not as advice. As a bridge. Because the truth is, you're not alone. You're not the only one remembering how to rest, how to feel, how to return. There's a quiet movement happening. Right here. Right now. One man at a time. One signal at a time. One quiet return to strength that doesn't need to prove itself to anyone. We're walking this path together. Welcome back.